What do you do when you find a book in the library that's not supposed to be there? I'm going to tell you what I did. It was an old, worn book with no title. I opened it and began to read. It described a little girl with red hair living in a house with a big oak tree in the front yard. The house had a library with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and a secret passage behind one of them. The girl would have nightmares about a shadowy figure standing at the end of her bed, beckoning her to come closer. As I read, I felt a growing sense of dread. The book was describing my childhood, my house, even my nightmares. On the last page, I found this message. Asterisk tonight, someone will read your ending. I slammed the book shut, terrified, and ran out of the library. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning I went back to the library to return the book, but when I got there, it was gone. I asked the librarian if she had checked it in, but she looked at me with a knowing smile and said she had something of mine. She reached under the counter and pulled out the book. I recognized it instantly. It was my storybook. I remember writing stories as a child and illustrating them with pictures. My mom used to read them to me at bedtime. But this copy was different. The illustrations were disturbing, like drawings of me being chased through the woods by a shadowy figure. And there were pages missing from the middle. As I looked through the book, I noticed a name written on the inside cover in my mother's handwriting. It was my sister's name, my sister who had passed away years ago. I remember the day she died. It was a hot summer day, and I was playing outside. I remember the sound of cicadas and the smell of freshly cut grass. But mostly I remember the look on my mother's face when she came out to tell us that my sister had passed away in her sleep from a rare heart condition. I was only 7 years old. The librarian handed me the book and said, Asterisk, your sister wanted to know how your story ended. Then she smiled and added, Asterisk, now we know how it ends, don't we? I stared at her in confusion. She leaned in close to me and whispered, Asterisk, don't you recognize me? I shook my head. She was wearing a Victorian nightgown, and her face was pale, almost translucent. I was your sister, she whispered. Asterisk, and this is my story. With that, she vanished. Thanks for watching. Follow for more haunted tales.